News.
On the words I choose to use. Oh, and y'all make sure y'all go support my baby Claressa. Because she's getting ready to fight again. And y'all know the outcome. Y'all know she's going to whoop her. So Claressa, my baby, keep standing strong. Keep being confident. Keep being beautiful. And if I may for one quick second, talk to our beautiful black women. How dare some of us? How dare some of us? I can't say all of us because it's not all of us. All of us don't feel that way. Most of us, when we see Claressa Shields, we see a beautiful, confident, strong, figuratively and literally black woman. That's what I see. And as she's selling out those boxing matches, that's what a whole lot of other black women see. But for those of you who want to criticize, who want to speak about what she looks like and she's not beautiful, shame on you. Shame on you. Don't pull your insecurities on that beautiful woman. Don't pull your insecurities and your immaturity on that beautiful black woman who is, by the way, making history. Who, when it's all said and done, when the books are when we all gone and they open up the books, guess whose name they're going to see as the greatest woman boxer of all times? They will see Claressa Shields. And do you know how many little girls right now, are saying, when I grow up, I want to be like that. When I grow up, when it's my turn, I want to be like that. When that sister has boxing camps every year for these beautiful little black girls, where are you ones that's talking about how she look? Where are you ones speaking about that? Why aren't y'all speaking loudly about that? We keep doing it to ourselves.
Pack your bags, kids. We're going on a guilt trip.
Veteran comedian Monique decided to take to her own social media to defend Claressa against all the stuff that people have been saying. But need I remind you, Monique, there are white people that talk shit about other white people.
Latinos that talk shit about other Latinos. How long have you been seeing Daniel Feitelzan and Juan Manuel Marquez, Oscar De La Hoya take shots at Canelo?
I don't think Monique knows who those people are.
That's not the point. The point is that the argument Monique is making doesn't hold any water. People talk shit about other people all the time, whether they're the same race or not, part of the same ethnic group,
a part of the same community, because infighting within a community exists in every community. The people talking shit about Claressa being from the same community as her, being the same race and denomination as her, does not exempt her.
You know, a long time ago I said here on the channel that just because Claressa Shields won 2 gold medals in the Olympics and a myriad of vacant titles in the pros, that doesn't mean that people have to like her.
Who might not like you anyway.
It does not exempt you from criticism, your accolades in the sport of boxing, because what if the people criticizing you don't watch boxing or don't care about it?
So whatever you did in that sport may not mean Bo fucking diddly to those people. Been talking about the influx of different content creators that don't normally cover the sport of boxing that all of a sudden started covering Claressa Shields, and not in a good way. More to do with her relationship with Papoose and how she behaves in the public eye, more than anything to do with her career as a pugilist.
We are well past that.
It used to be that if anybody in the boxing space said anything negative about Claressa, she and her fans could immediately defer to racism.
Not anymore, since a lot of the people saying stuff about Claressa are the same race as Claressa.
Claressa herself on more than one occasion deferred to sexism and misogyny as the reason she's looked down upon.
Except a lot of the people talking shit now are the same sex as her. A lot of them are women.
So, maybe it's not sexism, and maybe it's not misogyny. Maybe what it is that you're not a very likable person, in spite of everything you've done in boxing.
People still don't like you.
Y'all, I already got paid 3 M's up front, even having to put my hands on the girl. Now I got 41 days and I got to put my hands on somebody else. And then I get some more money. Y'all thought I went to Louis before. Baby, after this fight, I'm paying Louis another visit. And Gucci. Yeah, and Gucci. And Bulgari. I'm here for more Van Cleefs.
I looked at the comments section under that recent Fight Hype video where they showed Claressa Shields shadow boxing ahead of the Franchon Cruz rematch. And, you know, a lot of the comments were negative.
A lot of them.
So that when I see comedian Monique trying to castigate people for not liking Claressa, They don't have to like Claressa.
She talks too fucking much. That's what some people are saying.
And don't start up with the whataboutisms about what about this person who talks a lot or that person who used to talk a lot, because maybe they like when that person talks and they don't like when Claressa talks.
They don't have to.
A lot of the focus seems centered around Claressa Shields' relationship with Papoose and how for a woman 30 years old, she's acting like she's boy crazy. She won't shut the fuck up about the guy.
Seemingly reveling in her newfound fame outside of the boxing space, dating an uber celebrity.
You can see that she's smitten, though outwardly there's a feeling that this relationship means a lot more to her than it means to Papoose.
I use you. You're a toy, bitch.
So let me just say that people have been criticizing Claressa Shields. Well, it's not because she's black.
It's because she's obnoxious.
She's always been obnoxious. If people have been criticizing Claressa, it's not because she's a woman.
It's because she's annoying, how she's always going after men and talking about how she wants to fight with men.
And if there now seems to be an avalanche of content creators shading Claressa Shields, it's likely because of the amount of time she spent shading her contemporaries, shading Amanda Serrano, shading Katie Taylor.
Karma, baby!
You see it. Nobody likes their own medicine. The amount of time that she's taken shots at random, at other people, people are now taking at her. So it would seem that the universe is not without a sense of humor.
Karma, baby!
You see it. I mean, that's what I see. Now, maybe Monique doesn't, because Monique doesn't actually keep up with this sport or keep up with Claressa Shields as much as she lets on. That if anybody's had it coming,
Karma, baby!
it's Claressa. Everything Monique actually knows about Claressa, you could read on a Wikipedia page.
But there are some glaring character flaws there that have been there for a long time, and people in the boxing space didn't really call it out. Now that she's outside of that space,
Pop culture space has a different etiquette. They've been having a go at Claressa for weeks now, and not the same way that your conventional boxing fan would.
because these are not your conventional boxing fans, thus bringing up her accolades in boxing is gonna fall on deaf ears.
What, you're never supposed to say nothing bad about Claressa because she's a woman and she boxes? But how many people has she said bad things about?
I'm staying home this weekend, so spare me the guilt trip, Monique.
Claressa's not above criticism, and in many ways, she's getting a taste of her own medicine.
Now it's time for another installment of what is fast becoming one of the most popular segments here on the channel. Ring IQ Hate Mail!
A guy who goes by the name Boxing Guru, otherwise known as Alfred GTR, responding to my video about Oscar De La Hoya delaying the Boots versus Ortiz fight.
Reneging on what was an initial 55-45 offer to the winner, then demanding 60-40 for Virgil. Said why not just call their bluff? If Ennis wins it, it ends up being 45-55.
Why don't you tell Virgil to do the same thing?
I don't know what the purse is, but Boots should just take it. If Oscar backs off that, then everyone knows it's on him.
Everybody already knows it's on him. Everybody already knows it's Oscar sandbagging it, without Boots having to quote-unquote call their bluff. You're just trying to rationalize why it's okay for Oscar De La Hoya to drag this out longer than it needs to waste everybody's time and waste everybody's money, because if Virgil's not fighting Boots like the Zone wants him to,
He goes out there, he fights somebody else. Who do you think is paying for it?
who do you think is kicking out the money to give Oscar De La Hoya a budget? It's the Zone, and they want you to fight Boots, but what you want to do,
You want to waste time, you want to fuck around.
Boxing Guru wants to act like he doesn't know that.
This guy's still watching your videos?
Apparently, this is the same guy who got mad at me for pointing out all of Oscar's failures as a fighter and as a promoter when he wanted to criticize Terrence Crawford, calling me a sellout,
This guy's still watching your videos?
highlighting that this is just another disingenuous person who's not looking for objective analysis so much as preferential treatment on the premise of ethnicity and cultural background. Oscar's supposed to get a pass because what? Because he's one of the homies?
You don't pay no bills around here, and neither do you.
If what determines your opinions in boxing and what's going on is all based on who you have a common ancestry with, then you don't need to be watching anybody else's channels.
Not everybody has the same ancestry as you do.
The only reason you're going up to bat for Virgil, the only reason you're going up to bat for Oscar is because of that, and we all know it.
That's fine for you.
But why the fuck am I supposed to go with that? I've long maintained tribalism has its place in all of organized sports. That's in the stands, that's in the gate receipts, in the pay-per-view buys, that's where that belongs. But it has no place in any conversation I'm having. I don't give a fuck which one of these two guys you got something in common with.
So of course Richie Valens over here wants me to cut Oscar some slack.
Baila bailar la bamba.
When it's so obviously Oscar that's dragging this out and wasting everybody's time,
Baila bailar la bamba. Se necesita una poca de gracia.
and that's supposed to be okay because he shares a common ancestry with you?
I share a common ancestry with Carlos Adames, but I didn't hold back on calling him a duck when he ducked Yanni Bekalamkanalai.
I share a common ancestry with Felix Diaz, but that did not affect my perception of his fight with Terrence Crawford.
I picked Terrence to beat the platins out of that guy.
Por ti seré, yo no soy marinero.
Like I said, tribalism has its place in all of organized sports, but no place in any conversation I'm having. I'm focused on the facts.
And the reason you keep trying to inject it in these conversations that I'm having is because you can't handle the truth. Oscar's the one fucking up this fight.
His mother's arepa recipe doesn't make it all right.
So what do we as customers end up with now for our DAZN subscription? More filler fights? More Uisma Lima? More Erickson Lubin?
Since Oscar wants to fuck around.
Why am I supposed to defend what is so obviously his bullshit?
Now let me rephrase that.
Why would I defend his bullshit? He don't pay no bills around here, and neither do you. Even worse, that I called this outcome months ago, and I'm pretty sure Alfred saw it. I never thought this was going to be the next fight, for a myriad of reasons that you've already seen play out in real time.
Oscar's gonna fuck it up. Oscar's not gonna let it happen. Not on this schedule, and not for market value.
If Turkey were still involved, then maybe, because we all know Turkey pays above market value, but it shouldn't always take Turkey to come into it to make a fight. It sets an unsustainable precedent for boxing as a sport, for boxing as a business.
They gotta pay these guys more than they're worth to get them to do anything.
Get the fuck out of here. Just give me my just due for calling the outcome. I said this wouldn't be next. I said that Oscar and Golden Boy were sandbagging it.
Stop apologizing for that fucking idiot.
In men's heavyweight news, the IBF reschedules the Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torrez purse bid for January 22nd. The IBF is tired of waiting. The sanctioning body has officially called for a purse bid to take place January 22nd for the elimination bout between heavyweight contenders Frank Sanchez and Richard Torrez.
They're having a hell of a hard time finding somebody to fight Frankie willingly.
The winner of their proposed bout would become the mandatory challenger for Ring Magazine, IBF, WBA, and WBC champion Alexander Usyk, who's reported to be facing Deontay Wilder later on this year.
The winner of this fight becomes the mandatory for the winner of that fight.
Initially, a purse bid was set to take place January 6th, but it was postponed as both Sanchez and Torrez inched closer to a deal. Ultimately, with no agreement in place, the sides have been given a deadline to get it done. And this fight is getting special attention because Richard Torrez just so happens to be one of the flag bearers for Top Rank's next generation of fighters. Whatever's going on with him is a reflection of what's going on with them.
This used to be the kind of fight that Top Rank could put together in a jiffy, inexpensive.
Run of the mill.
Back when they were getting a budget from ESPN, this would have been easy to make, whereas now, if it ends up on somebody else's card, on somebody else's show, whatever happens at the purse bid, if that's what it comes to, will be a reflection of Top Rank's current status. For Sanchez, his career appeared to be going in the wrong direction. The 33-year-old Cuban was dropped and stopped in the 7th round against Agit Caballel in May of 2024. He did get a bounce-back win against Ramon Olivas Echevarria in February of last year, but that 3rd-round stoppage was Echevarria's 5th straight loss by knockout.
So it's not a victory you can read too much into, and close to a year has already passed since then. Torrez, on the other hand, is on a roll. The ring's number 9 contender has mowed down the competition. The 2020 Olympic silver medalist from Tulare, California, also had a terrific 2025 as the 26-year-old picked up a first-round knockout against Tomas Salek and a 10-round UD win over Guido Vianello. Sanchez is ranked number 3 by the IBF. Torrez is right behind him at number 4. The top spot in the IBF's top 15 is open. Second-ranked Derek Chisora wasn't interested in participating in this elimination bout, nor were F.A. Ajagba, Filip Hrgovic, or Moses Itauma.
Moses decided to fight Jermaine Franklin instead in a bout that has now been rescheduled to March as a result of an injury. Filip Hrgovic I think he wants to fight Agit Kabayel. He was in attendance for Agit's last fight in FA. FA decided to sign to Zuffa.
Move that took a lot of people by surprise, that now FA, not being with Top Rank anymore, he didn't go a more traditional route to a more traditional promoter. He decided to sign to Zuffa, leaving Richard Torrez to hold the bag and deal with Frankie Sanchez.
The saving grace is that I think that he can. Given Richard Torrez's lowest center of gravity, bending at the waist and knees, coming in at a slight crouch, moving side to side like a metronome, and bringing looping punches over the top.
He's fast on his feet. He's explosive, well-schooled, coming from a good amateur background. I think he can handle this assignment. The only thing is, getting the fight over the line. There's been a tenuous association made between this fight and the undercard of the newly announced Garcia versus Barrios fight. Some are reporting that this fight might land on that undercard, but that has not yet been confirmed.
If it does, it would be a welcome addition to that show, as Richard Torrez is made for television. He's all action and goes for the jugular.
No, Frankie Sanchez is not a fan-friendly fighter. He's an outside cutie pie, likes to spend the whole night moving away from the target, staying behind the straight punches. What can make the fight entertaining is Richard Torrez's come-forward aggression
and knockout power.
It's important for Richard Torrez to start fighting in fights like this against fighters like this so we know more about him and where exactly he falls in the pecking order. Can he go all the way? Can he win a belt?
America has not had a world champion in the heavyweight division in over 5 years. It's been that long since Deontay Wilder was beaten the first time by Tyson Fury in February of 2020, just before the shutdown and the pandemic hit. Was the last time America had a champion at that weight. Richard Torrez stands a very good chance of becoming the next if he can beat Frankie. This eliminator crowns a mandatory challenger for Usyk, who I anticipate will not fight the winner of this fight.
The mandatories are starting to pile up for a 38-year-old Alexander Usyk who's in the twilight years of his career. He already surrendered the brown belt to Fabio Wardley, who was his mandatory challenger. If Richard Torrez becomes one of the next,
might do the same thing with him. Let the young guy have a shine. Let the young guy have the belt. Don't log jam the division.
Serious questions as to what the future of Richard Torrez is, given the relative instability over there at Top Rank and their current broadcast situation, that if for any reason Richard Torrez separates from them because they can no longer accommodate him, where does he go?
Matchroom!
I would make 2 recommendations for Richie if he were to separate from Top Rank. You either go to Matchroom, who's really the only international promoter in the game right now. They do shows all over the world and can expose you to a global audience. There's them, but there is also MVP.
I think that would be a better fit for Richie than, say, going to the PBC, or going to Golden Boy.
MVP is doing great work for the women, but they need to beef up their male stable of fighters, and Richie would be a welcome addition to that should he become a free agent. That if it turns out Top Rank cannot recover from losing the ESPN deal,
go to Matchroom or go to MVP. You'll fit right in.